All right, welcome back to another episode of Active Every Day. Today we're going to be talking about form for exercises, like foundations, the ways to set yourself up, what you can think about and expect to feel or try to purposely feel during an exercise, and then also free form movement. So the first example was talking about like our squats. Where should our feet be? How wide should they be? What should our knees or toes kind of look or feel like? What should we think and feel like? What muscles are we using? Freeform leaves the constraints of those setups and explores the boundaries of how we are designed to move. It does two things. It enhances our body awareness, where we are, what we're touching, when we're touching it, how much weight we're touching it with, and it enhances our mobility. Those both have trickle-down effects. Our coordination and agility, our reaction gets better. Our injury risk goes down. Our tolerance to get into bigger positions goes up. So from a longevity standpoint, from a learning how to exercise with more complexity standpoint, from things with movement feeling easier, freeform exercise is crucial to helping. And you may have seen some of these types of things in like animal flow types of programs, but if you just go to yoga, if you go to Pilates, you go to a lot of pretty structured routines, you start to see more of this style movement. And then if you go to sport, you see freeform movement in sport all the time. There are sport-specific movements that go outside of the constraints of very specific patterning, like a squat or a press or a plank, and it's because it's for that sport specifically. So I coach freeform movement, and it explores all of those experiences, all of those aspects. Breathing gets involved as well, and so today we're going to highlight some of that. Okay, so freeform movement, we'll just start with things we already have spent time with, which is our neck rolls. And there is some strict boundaries to the neck roll that we will break free from. Neck rolls, the way we've coached them, neck circles, we've coached to have a very quiet body and a very isolated movement to the neck. And that's exactly how we will start. 5 to 10 reps, medium tempo. My medium is a hair slower sometimes and a hair faster sometimes. I have a little regulator switch, like a dimmer switch. And that's how freeform movement will express as well. It's not just on off, it's gradients, trunk, rigid rolls here, hips don't move. All the movement is, here's my belly button, basically here up, ideally. So I don't lean over really far, I curl over high up in my body. 5 to 10 reps each way. Pretty nice. Feeling a little loose today. We had some movements for our pelvis. Rotations of the pelvis. Twisting, side to side. And then we have a second pattern where we tilt front and back. Let's repeat those 3 now and break out with some freedom in our form. So with the head and the neck, now I'm going to add my entire trunk into the rotation and let my body hang with the weight of my head. So when my head is off to the right, it pulls my body over. And when it's forward, it pulls my body over. Sideways, it pulls my body. I'll turn sideways here in a moment, let you see the side form. Here we go. Watch me kind of slump forward, slump back. 5 to 10 reps, we change direction. All right, you're going at your pace, I'm going at mine. I'm encouraging a slow, medium pace. Just circle it around. When I get done, you can wrap up with me or do another rep if you want. Not spending time counting, because I really just want to explore how this movement feels. I know we're gonna do about 10, 9 or 11's all good. All right, wrap up there. That was getting bigger and more free, starting off of that neck pattern. Now the rib cage and the trunk, we really make movement at the top. We'll extend this movement now down into our hips a little bit more, and as if we were maybe hula hooping, or I don't hula hoop, but I'm envisioning what that looks like. Maybe our body extends as big as the actual hula hoop. So I'm gonna start my movement, and you can see how my hips aren't changing location yet. I'll get my movement going, and now as I go, I'm gonna let my hips go opposite, so they're going forward when I go back. My hips are going back as I go forward. And I just wanna make this big old circle pattern with my body. Again, I'm exploring how far I can go. This is more like a big stretch than anything else. How far can I go? I'm actually getting to the edges of my feet, onto my outside edges, across onto my toes. It's okay if your heels come off the ground. 5 to 10 reps, change direction. You can have your arms in a lot of different positions. If you reach the arms, it may help you extend further than if you keep your hands at your body. Just explore. We'll do 2 more. Last one. Nice. Yeah, like if you grew up wrestling, for instance, or doing gymnastics or some karate, I imagine, martial arts, definitely now jiu-jitsu and that type of rolling sport. But if you grew up doing a sport like that, then you have a good foundation for free-form movement. You need it in all those types of sports. Skiing, there's a lot of it. I mean, all sports have it. But those sports to me stand out. So if you don't have a foundation in those, ask one of your friends, ask the people you dialogue with, interact with, if they have time in that sport as a child growing up. It's interesting what kind of experiences they may have from movement standpoint. Okay, so that's the trunk, getting into the middle of the body, and then with the pelvis, so we have this 2 movement, this rotation, and then this pelvis tilting idea. So let's pull the shirt up, make it easier to see the waistline. So we have like a twist, and we have a tilt front and back. We want to combine the 2. Like a boat kind of rocking in the water. So I'm gonna stick it out to the side, stick it out to the back, kind of stick it out to the side, tuck to the front. And it's just my pelvis moving in that circle. It might be a little hard to figure out how to create that movement. If you remember from other videos, if you've been here before, if you hold something, it can be easier to help find a pattern. Not sure if you can see, it's just a bench I have standing up here. I'm gonna hold that. And it can make it easier sometimes to create movement when you have something stable in your hands. 5 to 10 reps. Big circular style free-form pattern in the pelvis. Feel free to let that weight move on your feet, okay? We want to get out of standing perfectly still, okay? So we first did our structured versions and then more of our free-form versions. All right, hope that helps. Try these patterns out. Stay active every day.